Hello and welcome. My name is Chantal, and I am a hand in hand certified instructor. And I have another wonderful guest with me today. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, Chantal. Thanks for having me. I'm Priya Saraal, and I am a certified hand-in-hand parenting instructor, um, child and family therapist based in the Seattle, Washington area. And most importantly, I'm a mom of a 13-year-old, and hand-in-hand has been pivotal to my journey and as a parent, as a professional, as a human being.
Oh, awesome. So let's launch straight into what first drew you to hand in hand. How did you come here?
Yeah. So I was a young mom. My son was about 5 at the time that I met Hand in Hand. And I was a young therapist as well. Really having gone through, the sort of the certification as a therapist and all the training and all the hands-on learning that I was going through while thinking some pieces fit, but this
Yeah.
does not fit for me. Behavioral work and helping support children through CBT, which is a common modality that is used with adults, and it can be very effective with the right population.
Mm,
With young children, I was, experiencing for myself that it was just not a fit.
mm,
And I was seeking support for my own parenting at the same time, but at the time, I was more focused on, where can I find a parenting philosophy that resonates not just for my personal life, but also helps me translate that professionally as I evolve as a therapist in supporting parents to do the hard work of supporting their children's mental health and well-being. So at that time, I remember listening to a podcast, and I I'm blanking on Kate Orson. Yes, Kate Orson was the person on the podcast, and she is a hand-in-hand parenting instructor, and she had written a book. But it was such another beautiful example of the hand-in-hand philosophy through her book. And I read that book. I followed, I deep dived into the podcast and the resources, and I'm like, this resonates, and it's so juicy and just
mm.
what I'm like drawn to. So I read the book, and I practiced some of that myself with my child, and it was magical. It was just so nourishing for me and so nourishing for my son that I said to myself, I need to like really understand hand in hand from the roots. And so that's how I got to the certification program. And since I was a therapist myself at that time, I had the option of either doing what is now called a foundations class, or the professionals intensive, and I think that has a new name now as well. And I chose the professionals intensive route, which was a really great way to meet other professionals doing similar work who are interested in understanding hand in hand from the bottom up and really applying it to their life and their work. And it was an experience like no other. Yeah, and that's how I came to be an instructor.
Beautiful. Yes, so that is called the Foundations for Professionals now. So if anyone is interested in that arm of things, we have the foundations for individuals, which is parents, caregivers. We have the foundations for professionals, and we have the foundations for educators as well. So there's three very specific routes you can take depending on where you're at in your life. So thank you. And I love that also the concept of kind of so many of us find we are experts when it comes to children, and then we have children, and it's very different when it's right in front of you and they're real people that are yours as well. Because I think it's the yours as well. Because even now, I feel like I still have that gift with other people's children, but it's a lot harder in my own home.
Yes, and that was such a humbling place to be that here I was working with other parents' children, and struggling with my own, and there was a lot of work there as well for me, which hand in hand gave me the tools to work on.
So I'd love to know about the actual training itself that you did to become a certified hand-in-hand instructor. What made that unique to other learning you might have done?
Yeah. I think I mentioned earlier that it is a very bottom-up approach, and a lot of the trainings out there, give you information,
Mm,
didactic information, which has its place. It's important to know all the different options and the tools, but I think the missing element in all of these other opportunities is the actual grind of the internal work that
mm,
we have to do in order to be able to access the tools that are given to us didactically, right?
yeah.
And especially when you are feeling isolated as a parent or even as a professional, when you're feeling like an outcast from, just
Mm,
the approach that here are all these trainings that you can take and then you can become an expert. When you don't quite resonate with that, there's a sense of isolation in that as well. And so I was feeling so much isolation. And the thing that I just appreciated so much about the instructor certification program is that it really gave you not just the tools to support yourself. And there's one of the 5 tools that I'm specifically thinking about, which is a listening partnership and the peer listening in support groups that is offered by Hand in Hand as a community that's already there because they understand that this support is essential in order to be able to really make sense of what tools to reach for,
mm,
and how to sit with yourself and sit with yourself as an example of how to sit with your child, and I think that was it was learning from within, it was learning in community, not feeling isolated. It was just incredible, an incredible need that was filled, which I didn't even know I had,
mm,
because and being in such isolation to have, sometimes we reach for, we wish we had more support, but we don't know how to find it.
yeah.
And it's hard to find it. It's hard to make something happen on your own. But as an organization, Hand in Hand has just done such a beautiful job of prioritizing this as a
Mm.
stepping stone to actually learning the tools. And that is the magic for me. That was the magic that I needed to be able to really feel seen and use the listening partnership tool to feel supported in order to learn and connect the dots and then try things with my child and try things with my clients.
And when you're describing all that, I'm like, take me back. But as you say, like Hand in Hand is also really, really good at keeping that going. So it's yes, that immersion experience is so wonderful and you can't replicate it, but it doesn't stop there. You still have so much connection, and I think that's something that they're even diving into more strongly now. So it really feels like that is an ongoing community that you can really be immersed in for the forever, really. And
Yeah.
that's so helpful. I'd also love to know what is a question you wish more parents asked? What's something that sort of, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think my journey kind of took me from a place of like what do I do with the child in front of me, whether it's my own or a client, to what do I need for myself at this time as I try to be with this child, you know. So I think we live in this culture that tells us to fix things and fix things efficiently and produce and move on so that the next thing can be ready for us to work on and problem solve. And I think in that kind of a culture, it can be really hard to stop and take a breath, smell the roses. And it may not be quite rosy, but to learn to work on the muscle to smell not the not so great smelling things too, you know? I think that the self work that we need to do and the community that we need to find to support ourselves with, because we were not born to do this alone. And I know we've heard this in so many spaces of hand in hand, and it is really, really, it's like the bumper sticker of my life, you know.
Mm.
And it has really helped remind me that when I feel isolated, I should reach out and I need to reach. I deserve to reach out and I deserve
Mm.
for somebody to support me, even in the smallest way, even if it is to listen to me for a minute, you
Yeah.
know, and or to remind me by text that you got this, you
Mm.
know. I think that's the beauty of parenting. There have been so many examples for me where I've received the support for something that's really hard and challenging, and I've not been able to figure out, or I've tried solutions with my child or my client, and it's just not quite fit. And I've received support and listening for my own emotions that are emerging. Maybe I'm feeling doubtful. Maybe I'm feeling really afraid. Maybe I'm just feeling really stuck, and it's just hard to move forward. And when I've been listened to in those situations, I've really found the spaciousness to then come up with my own solutions, you know, and know or find the confidence to take a path that I didn't
Mm.
feel confident enough to take before. I really do think working and supporting ourselves is really critical. And I think that allows us to be with our children in ways that are regulating to them and allows them to find their solutions within their stuckness too. So, so yeah, that would be the question I think that I wish parents would ask. And like, what do I need in this situation?
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah.
so helpful. Um, so yeah, so we have a few different paths. So you came to us on the professional path initially, and then down the parenting path. We have the hand-in-hand community where you can, be immersed in community that's at different levels of their journey, and that's sort of an ongoing support with 24/7 moderation. We also have the foundations classes that I mentioned before, and you can go on to certify. So in April every year, we open up certification applications. You just need to have taken one of those foundations as a prerequisite, and then you can go on to do our training intensive, which then you can choose if you want to then tack on a certification with that. So there's so many of our wonderful instructors doing amazing things in the world. I want to talk about what you've done because you mentioned a book earlier, but you've also written a book, and we'd love to hear just a little bit about that too.
Sure. Yeah. I had the opportunity to team up with another therapist and dear friend, Jed Ramesh, to write a book that met the gap of parenting children of color who are neurodivergent in this
Mm.
world. It was specifically written in the U.S. context, but I do think it applies outside the U.S. as well. And oh, I have the book right here if you'd
Yeah.
like
I was just
to
thinking I should have gotten it off my shelf as well because I do have it as well. I thought I should have thought of that before.
No worries. But yeah, I think the work that I I've been touched by Hand in Hand in such important ways. And even though this book isn't exactly about hand in hand parenting, it really carries that lens of, compassion to yourself as a person with parenting within systems of oppression. And we are constantly bombarded by barriers and judgment and, criticism and all these ways in which we are made to feel small and isolated as parents, parenting
Mm,
children who are different from
mm,
a norm, right?
yeah.
And I would say if there is sort of one message or takeaway from this book, it's really that it's not you as a parent that is doing anything wrong. That your child is beautiful as they are, and they are worthy as are you. You are
Mm,
worthy, and you're beautiful, and you have the wisdom in you to parent your child well. And I think it's those messages and barriers that come in the way to make this
mm,
difficult. And that goes back to finding support for yourself as a parent and spaces that affirm your identities, that affirm your experience, and that ally with you to help you break these barriers so that you feel less alone, and that you're able to access the supports that you deserve to parent your child well. So
mm,
yeah, thank
yeah.
you for
Mm.
asking about the book,
Well,
and
thank you.
uh, I'd love to hear from parents that do have a chance to pick it up. Yeah.
Mm. Well, yes, so I am also a neurodivergent person of color, so it's hits me on that level as well. So thank you for making the book, and thank you for everything you do for your clients and for your family. We really appreciate you and everything you have to offer. And thank you for talking to our audience today. It's been so lovely to have you. So thank you everyone as well for tuning in. It's been a pleasure. Thank you, Priya.
Thank you, Chantal. Thank you for the work you do.
Thank you.